they said, hook! I'm John Rankin with my review of AEW Dynamite from the North Charleston Coliseum in North Charleston, South Carolina. Let me know your thoughts on this show in the comments, please, and I will give major credit to all the fans in attendance, all 2,000 or 2,100 of you. You made as much noise as possible, but boy, based on the information from WrestleTix, that's all that was there, and that was a pretty empty building. They gotta start marketing themselves better, promoting themselves better, or running smaller buildings because good goddamn Christ. Having like 3,000 or 4,000 people in a 5,000 to 6,000 seat building is a hell of a lot better than what they've been doing. And I know I've said this on end and I will continue to say it, but goddamn it, it just isn't a good look. That being said, Samoa Joe, the AEW World Heavyweight Champion, against Hook. Yes, I'm going to continue to use the Shivani line from Revolution 2021 because they did send Hook. So, yeah, in regards to the rest of the show, I'm going to talk about that here in just a second, but I do want to say, if you don't see a review of Collision for this week, don't be surprised. I'm going to see a movie, and I'm going to have to take periodic breaks. That being said, yeah, package on Joe and Hook. It was had a big fight feel. Didn't have a lot of hype behind it, but they tried to make it as serious as possible, promote it, and if only they did this with more of their main events and didn't just slop so many of these things together, because this is the kind of shit that AEW can do really well with the production staff and the money behind them. And the fact that they do have some serious athletes, both veterans and young, that can put on something pretty good. So the crowd did try to sound loud, but they were really small. So the TNT champion, Christian Cage, came out first. That's stupid. Don't ever have the champion come out first. That's all I gotta say. Dustin gets a pretty good pop, and I love Dustin Rhodes. Do not get me wrong. The fact he's overcome addiction and is clean now and is in really good cardio shape, but you can tell it hurts for him to even walk to the ring. He can get out there on muscle memory alone and do stuff, but nevertheless, Christian Cage, along with Lucha Switch, that's what his name is, I'm sorry. Kill Switch is stupid, Luchasaurus is stupid, let's just combine them. And Nick Wayne. So, TNT Championship match. So, Excalibur, Taz, and Ian Riccaboni were on commentary. You know what? If this means Shivani won't be doing commentary as much and you use him periodically, I'm all for that. I like Ian Riccaboni. The crowd popped for Dustin. They took this seriously, and I'm sorry to point this out, but, you know, age gets pointed out in WWE and New Japan. And I'm not saying people need to be put out to pasture just because they reach a certain age. The combined age of these two guys is 104 years old. So, it just, that really stuck out to me. I mean, I'm not saying this wasn't good for what it was. I don't think that it needed, a couple finishes at the end. But Cage does dive to the outside. That was a pretty good move. That was the break spot. Missed diving headbutt. A Canadian that is also a family man that has competed in the Royal Rumble doing a diving headbutt. Hide your kids. Hide your wives. Dustin fires back. The stop shattered dreams. A code red. He only gets a 2 count. Frog splash by Christian. And then we get the referee distracted. Good job there. Good job just letting Aubrey be distracted. I mean, then again, they did a little bit better here compared to some that they're trying. Nick Wayne reverses a small package Dustin had, but just a 2 count. And then later we get distractions. Nick Wayne gets planted with a destroyer outside. Credit to Nick. He has taken a lot of insane bumps, and I just hope his body holds up because hell of a talented kid. Saw him wrestle on the indies when he was just 14. Kid's uber talented. Super nice. His attitude is he wants to learn. And then we get a spear, a kill switch just for 2, and a second kill switch for 3. I don't think you need the second one. I mean, I'm not knocking for whatever. Sometimes you don't need to do all that extra stuff. And then Renee, who's all over this goddamn show, was with Swerve. He's focused on the world title, and that Hangman, he's really good. That everybody could come down from the heavens and he might have a chance, but he couldn't beat Swerve. Swerve's a great talker. I really hope that he, has the world title by, I'd say, the middle of this year, but at least by the end of the year. So, Renee is with Jericho. He's upset that the Callis family took him out. Takeshita hit him with a kendo stick. Apparently Jericho beat him at that DDT Pro show, which I didn't watch. The DDT fucking Pro. No disrespect to the people that actually work there, but they have too much comedy for my liking. And that Sammy is out and injured. God, if only that actually was true. I don't actually think that he is. And if he is injured and this isn't just kayfabe, then maybe he needs to stop doing stupid shit. So he wants to steak and destroy Takeshita. And then Matt Sydal, who I have met and I like and is very talented, came in and, boy, this was not a good exchange. They're going to have a match on Rampage. And Jericho said, some say you were born to do this. Chris, stick to having people, sign NDAs when you do stuff, allegedly. So, then we have Orange Cassidy and Trent with Chuck Taylor, who apparently is back from whatever injury he had, at least in this capacity, against Penta Commander. With Phoenix. Phoenix is back until he gets injured again, and Alex. Rick Knox is a terrible referee, and Commander got pinned by Trent. I didn't watch anything with Orange Cassidy. You out of your fucking mind, and I like Penta. So then Strong, Taven, and Bennett show up, and basically Strong keeps doing the yelling of the first name. It was cool when he did it with Adam. It's stupid now. The Undisputed Kingdom. I'm sorry. I like Bennett. I like Taven. Strong's a really good wrestler. Cole's the leader of the group, and he's out with an ankle injury, and is probably going to be out again whenever he comes back. He will probably get injured again because he looks frail. This group is just not a good idea. Strong wants the International Incident Championship, and yells orange, and just, the match is going to happen at Revolution. It doesn't matter. The title hasn't meant shit. It didn't mean shit when Pac won it. It doesn't mean shit that Orange Cassidy has it. Those that like Orange Cassidy, great. Those that don't, I don't. I'm sorry. I just fucking don't. And so, basically, Hangman now is Hangman TA, because he wishes he had a third of the charisma that Magnum TA had on his worst day. He has the mustache and everything. A lot of mustaches on this goddamn show. And that he is focused on the world title, but also he doesn't care about... I'm on Swerve's mind, but he's not on my mind. You've confronted him before, though, Hangman. So, yeah, he is on your mind. It's really fucking stupid. And he completely negates that point a little bit later. I mean, kinda, but just... It's just... One step forward, two steps back on this show. Here's Mark Briscoe. I'm not going to get into a long discussion on this. If you don't watch anything other than the main event, check this out. So 1 year anniversary of Jay Briscoe's death. I did not realize it's already been a year. I also want to say, fuck the Warner Bros. Discovery executive that would not let the Briscoes be on television, and it took the death of Jay Briscoe to have something like this happen. And even then, that executive, whoever they are, and hopefully we find out their name and we can shame them until maybe, I don't know, they go into hiding. But Jay had, I believe, his daughters were in the vehicle, and I didn't hear any update on what happened to the kids. It wasn't any of my business. But I heard they really had bad injuries, and they're able to walk. I had to take a break after this segment. I had to take a break. Good that the kids were able to walk. The family's all there. Jesus Christ, this was a gut punch. Hard to believe it's been a year. And they show a video package, and there wasn't a dry eye in the house. And yeah, I had to pause the show and take a 15-minute break. This was good shit. I'm just happy. I'm obviously not happy that Jay is gone, but I'm happy at least his kids are walking. Because based on what had been reported, it was really touch and go. And for those kids who first lose their dad and then go through all that stuff, just strong-willed kids, a lot stronger than a lot of people would be. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. And then we go to Renee with the Italian Bucks. And let me just say right now that they need to lay off the Tanner, lay off the bullshit religion, and lay off the goddamn ego, inflation that they continue to give themselves. Don't inflate your ego too much or you'll go blind. We're Nicholas and Matthew Jackson. We're EVPs, and it's time we take this job seriously. And I know they're leaning into the fact that they aren't well liked. They haven't been well liked because they have not contributed anything positive to the in-ring product in years. I can name 3 matches, maybe 5, that I have enjoyed, in some capacity since AEW got created, because they do the same shit. And they talk about, that there were toxic, superstars, cancerous superstars that we brought in. Yeah, that drew better money than you guys ever have, drew better ratings, don't run people off like you did. And the self-serving cancerous superstars, like, just say that you hate people that actually draw money, because they don't care. They have never been about actually benefiting the company. They haven't. And it's not leaning into this, and maybe I'm biting on this just as much as, any other wrestlers would, but tell me that if the Bucks left AEW, if the Bucks never wrestled in AEW again, would the company miss a beat? No, they wouldn't. Now, 3 years ago, maybe. Because, obviously, 3 years ago, we were still in the pandemic era and stuff like that. But let's say they left 2 years ago. Let's say they weren't around to start 2023. Let's say they weren't around at this point. Let's just say at 2022, they turned over a new queef, all that and everything, and they left. Wouldn't have missed a beat. But Sting is great. He's not like, cancerous, toxic superstars, but they have to get rid of the old guard. The Bucks, who can't even move anymore, are basically, on borrowed time and are trying to basically be the same thing they were in Ring of Honor, except they're older, balder, and can't move. Whatever. Lean into this stuff and people are just going to not care about this. This is not something that would inspire me to care enough, to tune in. Like, if the Jay Briscoe stuff, or the tribute to Jay Briscoe, that was great. And then the Bucks, of course, naturally had to leech off of that stuff. And I know the Bucks and the Briscoes got along well, but yeah, it was what it was. Speaking of was what it was, the Gangbang Gang of Jay White and the Guns were here, along with the Mughal Embassy, and that's Bishop Khan, Toa Leona, and Brian Cage, with Prince Nana, and, Nana swears when he drives, and that's all I'm going to say. Ring of Honor 6-man championships. Look, Khan got to show off, and I have nothing against any of the people involved, except I don't think Brian Cage really is that impressive. It's impressive that he's a human balloon animal, but Khan is impressive. Khan getting a singles run, I'd be all for. Or Khan and Toa Leona going after tag team gold, getting tag team gold, not just 6-man tag team gold. But if you want to have Khan go after a singles championship, even if it's in Ring of Honor, I'm all for it. We get distraction. Bowen stops Nana from interfering. Blade Runner 1, 2, 3. Then the Acclaim, they want to scissor with the Gangbang Gang. So there we go. We're getting gangbang scissoring. Backstage with Cole and Wardlow, and Adam Cole, baby, says, "You know what's horrifying? I could think of a lot of things, Adam Cole. One is that they are trying to rehash something that worked better in a company that now is producing a better product week to week than this. And I don't even review NXT weekly anymore. And I know that they're a little more consistent. I just can't take some of the bullshit they do. So, yeah, Wardlow is going to run through everybody. Of course he is. Of course he is. Whatever helps you sleep at night, Adam Cole. Tony Storm comes down to do commentary for Deonna Purrazzo versus Anna Jay. Whoever was fat-shaming Deonna Purrazzo, look, is she my cup of tea personally? No. Does she look good? Yes. Is she talented in the ring? Yes. It's also not up to me to judge her based on that. She's a good wrestler. She also has a husband that loves her, so good for them. Let's focus on people like actually being pieces of shit instead of just what they look like. Now, if they happen to be pieces of shit and look bad, we can do that too. Plenty of those in wrestling. Chris Jericho, the bloated beached whale that he is. But that being said, Deonna Purrazzo and Anna Jay had a match where Deonna Purrazzo focused on Anna Jay's arm. Anna tried to fight back, and the Venus de Milo got the victory. That was the double arm trap. And then Renee's with Deonna. Deonna says, "I knew you, Tony. You were somebody I used to know. Somebody that I used to know." And Tony then basically says, I think she said, I want to sock you in that box. The accent made it a little bit hard to understand. Why is she wanting to go after Deanna's box? I have so many questions. So, it was funny. Tony said this while she was on Luther's shoulders. I mean, I think we all envied Luther at that point. I hope Juice Robinson recovers soon. So, we get shoe tossing, and Mariah's running away. Oh, the shoe, it's made of something. Yay! Private Party took on Top Flight. Private Party are heels. Rick Knox is a terrible referee. And it was fine. I guess there were points where the monitors got taken out because everybody crashed. I was afraid that Darius. He was the one that suffered the knee injury first. I was worried that he actually landed badly because he kind of hit the ropes and was holding his arm. And then he landed flush a couple times when Mark Quinn dived on him. They hit the gin and juice, which should have been the finish, but no. Then we got a roll up holding the ropes 1, 2, 3. Again, doing a little too much. Why didn't you just do something where somebody was taken out without doing your... Whatever. By the way, Darby and Jeff Hardy are going to have a match on Rampage. Neither Hardy should be in the ring anymore. So, Sting and Darby, they want the tag titles. We find this out in the pre-tape. Now? Literally? Now? They're going to retire as tag team champions? Watch the Bucks win the tag titles, and then, beat Sting, or then Sting and Darby win them just to close the goddamn thing, and that's it. Sting retires as a champion. Samoa Joe took on Hook, and it was for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I'm going to encourage you guys to watch this. The only thing I'm going to comment on is the fact that Hook fought from underneath. Taz is very emotional watching his son get this opportunity. Hook got his flurry stop. Joe took over, beat him down. And then Hook kept just getting a little bit. He did just get absolutely destroyed for a while, though. I mean, he would fire back with some clotheslines, but he got hit with like a friggin', announcer's table bump, which just looked brutal. I mean, that looked brutal. I was worried that Hook got really hurt. I think he might have, actually. And an apron bump when Hook basically flipped him off, like, okay, boom. And the doctor checks on him. Hook gets right back in the ring just before the 10 count, and then we get we get a DVD for 2, and then we get the Muscle Buster 1 kick out. Okay, that woke the crowd. I mean, the crowd was into this, but that woke the crowd up. He hit some lariats. He hit a throw. Went for the red rum, and then a counter into the coquina clutch, and there you go. Hook lost, but you know what? It was the best sub 10-minute main event I think that I've seen on a wrestling program in a while. Well paced. Obviously, Hook wasn't going to win. Got enough to where he was able to show what he could do, and then was yelling at Joe, "That all you got?" And then Joe hit another muscle buster on him. And Hook's kind of still all around and, trying to get a little bit back up. And they're in overtime, by the way, because they can't manage their time at all. I blame the Bucks for doing their self-serving bullshit. Joe gets back in the ring. Here comes Hangman. Joe runs out. Hangman's checking on Hook. I thought they were actually going to push it along and Hook was going to get hit by Hangman, and Hangman TA was just gonna destroy him and be like, I don't need nobody. And Swerve's there in the crowd along with Nana, and this went a while. We completely forgot that Joe beat Hook, and Hook had a really good showing, and they made it all about Hangman and Swerve, and you should make it about Swerve. You cannot make Hangman interesting to me. You just can't. Even with that great tweet that he once said, or posted in regards to Kane taking all the head injuries in regards to who he supports. Nevertheless, so it was a hell of a main event, and then they went way too long on the whole Hangman trying to put over Hook and do all that, and they better not make Hangman the world champion. They better not make him the world champion again. There's no point. That ship sailed. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Like, share, subscribe, Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Retlin. I'll see you soon.